What a difference a homestand makes, as the Boston Bruins have won their last 3 straight games at home, looking to make it a 4th in their second of 2 in the series against the Pittsburgh Penguins. And for the Bruins, these wins have come at a cost, as the Boston forward depth will be tested one more time, and maybe even more so going forward. Injuries really starting to pile up, specifically at the right wing position, because David Pastrnak is out, Ondrej Kase is out. Now add Jake DeBrusk to the list of injuries on that right wing position. And also, if you'd like, it's not right wing, but add Tuukka Rask to the injury report, as he did not dress for tonight's game. So backing up Yaroslav Halak is big 6'7" Dan Vladar. But the Boston Bruins will not get any sympathy from the Pittsburgh Penguins, who are dealing with injury problems of their own, and they will be without defenseman Brian Dumoulin tonight. And also, let's not forget about the fact that the Pittsburgh Penguins general manager Jim Rutherford resigned Wednesday. So all of this leads to a very interesting game between the Bruins and the Penguins tonight on the Bruins Recap Show. Boston Bruins. So we start things off in the first period. As I said earlier, Yaroslav Halak, who is slated to get the start anyway, is in tonight. Tuukka Rask getting the day off, won't even dress, up in the press box somewhere. For the Pittsburgh Penguins, it's Tristan Jarry again for them. And this has starting to become very prevalent for the Boston Bruins. The ability to have both Tuukka Rask and Yaroslav Halak, 1A, 1B, has, at least in these handful of games in the early part of the season, really shown and been a really good advantage for the Boston Bruins. As for Pittsburgh, playing Tristan Jarry back-to-back. For the Philadelphia Flyers, they played their starting goaltender Carter Hart back-to-back. Mackenzie Blackwood played back-to-back against the Bruins. You see where I'm going with this. The ability for Boston to give Tuukka Rask some time off, whereas their opposition has been rolling with their starting goaltender, has been a really big advantage for this team. Meanwhile, for the Boston Bruins, as predicted in the last video, the lines are a bit of a mess. So let's quickly look at how the Bruins are lining up at the forward position. So your starting line, your number 1 line, Brad Marchand, Patrice Bergeron, and Craig Smith. Your second line, Nick Ritchie, David Krejci, and Charlie Coyle, moving from third line center to second line right. I don't know if this is technically the third line, although it's more of a fourth line in my opinion. Trent Frederick, Par Lindholm, and Jack Studnicka. And the fourth line, which is more of a third line, which played like it was the second line tonight, we'll get to that in a second. Anders Bjork, Sean Corelli, and MVP Mayor Chris Wagner. Matt Grzelcyk will be playing tonight, who is out for a couple of games with a lower body injury. So, in the first period, and the Boston Bruins' fourth line getting the start, and they came to play from the jump in the first period, in the first minute of the first period, drawing a penalty against the Pittsburgh Penguins, and this continued to be a story throughout the game. The play of the fourth line, very, very well. And it is in the first period that the fourth line does get the first goal for Boston. 3-on-3 scrum. The puck ends up on the stick of Brandon Carlo. He takes a shot. It's saved by the blocker of Tristan Jarry. Matty Grzelcyk, from his point, gets it in the low corner and puts the puck directly on net. The Pittsburgh defenseman, Kuzman? Czuczman. I guess. I think that's how you pronounce it. Anyway, the puck bounces off his stick, explodes right to Chris Wagner, who is in the correct spot in that position. High slot, scores it. 1-0 Boston, and it's a first of the season for the mayor of Walpole, Chris Wagner. little bit later on in the first period, Pittsburgh will get on the board and tie it up. Jeremy Lauzon attempting to clear the puck. It hits Cody Ceci, and it bounces directly to Brendan Rust. Rust back to Ceci. Ceci skating it into the slot. Nobody covering him. Nobody putting some pressure on him. Has time, space, takes the shot, beats Yaroslav Halak. 1-1 hockey game. With a minute to go in the first period, and this is arguably the best shift from Anders Bjork that I have seen at least this season, maybe even in his career. He takes a tour of the attacking zone. His shot gets blocked. It ends up in the corner. Chad Ruhwedel attempts to clear it, but Anders Bjork, who is covering for Matt Grzelcyk, gets the puck back on his stick. He outdresses Brandon Tanev, just completely blows right around him, puts the puck on net. It gets just enough of Sean Kuraly to beat Tristan Jarry. The Boston Bruins go into the room after one, up 2-1. Also, in that first period, the Boston Bruins outshot the Pittsburgh Penguins 9-6. Not their most that they've ever outshot a team, but still, Boston Bruins doing what they do throughout the entire season and outshooting a team in the first period. So we go to the second period, and unfortunately, at the end of the period, Matt Grzelcyk left the game, would not return in the third. Either way, he contributes to the first goal of the game for Patrice Bergeron, as Patrice Bergeron goes up to Matt Grzelcyk. Grzelcyk with a beautiful pass to the high slot to Charlie Coyle, passes it back to Grzelcyk, doesn't fully connect, but Grzelcyk stays with it, puts it to the front of the net. Patrice Bergeron, originally the shot gets blocked by Chris Letang, but outworks him, gets the rebound, the second chance opportunity on the backhand. 3-1 Boston at the end of the second. So we go to the third period. Boston will get a power play. Patrice Bergeron again, as it's Nick Ritchie winning a puck battle to Patrice Bergeron, passes it up to Brad Marchand on the wall, and the Bruins do what they do well, a beautiful execution of the umbrella power play between Brad Marchand, David Krejci, and Charlie McAvoy. The puck eventually gets back to Brad Marchand, passes it high slot to Patrice Bergeron, who goes high glove on Tristan Jarry. What a shot by Patrice Bergeron, his second of the game on the power play. Boston up 4-1, and that is your final. A workman-like effort from the Boston Bruins as they held the Pittsburgh Penguins to only 17 shots on goal. And in the face-off dot, they won 62.8% of the time in this game. A beautiful defensive effort from Boston, which is what they needed, especially with a lot of the forwards being out of this game. Don't know what the status is in regards to Jake DeBrusk just yet. But the way Anders Bjork played, definitely looks like he doesn't want to go anytime soon from the lineup. Also, don't know 100% if David Pastrnak will be available for Saturday night's game against Zdeno Chara and the Washington Capitals. But let's go quickly to your 3 stars of the game. Star number 3, the mayor, Chris Wagner, gets a goal, his first of the season. Star number 2, the best game that I have seen from this kid. He's had a great season, and like I said, the production wasn't there, but he's been playing really, really well. The production finally came for Anders Bjork, who got an assist, did predominantly all of the work on the play for that goal. And your number 1 star with 2 goals on the night, Patrice Bergeron, low-key has 5 goals on the season already, leading the team in goals. You love to see it. This is a beautiful defensive effort that you really like to see from the Boston Bruins. So can they keep it up as they acquire 8 points in the last 4 games, taken 4 away from the Pittsburgh Penguins and 4 away from the Philadelphia Flyers. They look to continue this momentum as they go on the road to face the Washington Capitals and former captain Zdeno Chara. That's Saturday night. We will see you then on the next Bruins Recap Show.